Hi, friends and kindred souls. Welcome back to Sage Thyme. I'm Lillian, and Jupiter is here with us as well. So, we've got a reading. Let's talk about your reading. All right, we'll start with the first card. We're starting out with the Eight of Wands, excuse me. And what I'm seeing in the cards that I've pulled out so far is, and this is no surprise. You've been on a long journey. You've done a lot of big work. You've done a lot of deep, deep work. And you have gone into those dark, dark caves and caverns within yourself. And you're starting to see some of the treasures. I get that. But I think that there's still some question about alignment. Am I in alignment enough? Am I doing things right? Have I gone deep enough? But I think also I'm really feeling this, I don't know, exasperation at this point of you've done so much for so long. And maybe this is kind of coming from your guides or the ancestors around you. Those that are supporting you are really, I think, in fact, they're maybe more so than you saying enough is enough. You've done enough. And that's by no means is that to say that there isn't more work to do. There always is. But I'm talking about the deep dive work that you have been doing for so long. And, you know, guys, I'm really feeling like I'm talking to folks who have been in a mode of, you know, it's that hypervigilance, that high self expectation, probably not even of other people, really of yourself. Yeah, really feeling like every time, and I don't even know that you necessarily for a long time were conscious of it. Um, but your guides and your ancestors, the ancestors I think are really present here today, are coming in to really say, you have expected so much of yourself every step of the way that it's really time for you to make a practice of stepping back and observing how far you've come. Yeah, that's what it is. And not only observing how far you've come, but really tapping into that gentle celebration. And I don't mean like, yeah, I'm going to go take myself out to the movies and dinner. I mean, if you want to do that, definitely do that. But I think for a lot of you, you've been going, this has been a lifetime that has had lifetimes within lifetimes of just the hard work. And it's not to say you haven't had fun and you haven't, stepped off the path even and things like that. But I get this feeling that doing something like a celebration almost feels superfluous and just maybe not the right way to reward yourself. I'm really feeling that a new genre of self care and self love is wanting to surface within you and around you. And we have all the things, right? A nice bath, or maybe write a new song, or do some art or some writing, create something out in nature. These are some of the more gentle ways of going about things. And I feel like there's something that's very new. And it's not, I don't even know that as it's revealing itself to you and through you in terms of your own new way of self-celebrating how far you've come. I don't even know that you won't even know that it's what is happening, that there's this celebration, this gentle, soft, and really richly nourishing. It's just, I'm seeing all these little flashes of images, and it's almost as if a bunch of different little things are making a collage on a, a wish board. And somehow it's all those pieces coming together, maybe within a day, within a framework, along a number of days, where you just take time and maybe trigger it by doing a certain type of breathwork activation or something like that is what I'm being called to. And I know, I mean, gosh, that's, a little bit vague, but I keep hearing it's supposed to be, and you already a little bit know what I'm talking about. So that's really cool. But that's really what's coming in, is that here's this big long journey that you've been on, and you've been picking up these gorgeous dandelion poofs on the way. And now that you've got to the top of this very long ascent and pathway, there's really nowhere else to go, that there was a promise that was made. And with these dandelions, you take them and you make that magical contact of sending your intention out through your breath and releasing them into the wind with these dandelion seeds. Again, a measure of faith and trust, because I think that, yeah, I think you thought that when you got to the top of this incredible, treacherous, or difficult and challenging, maybe it wasn't treacherous, path, that the reward would be at the top of the path. And so you get to the top and they're like, yeah, you did it. And you're like, yeah, I did it. And where's this reward? Where's the manifestation? Where is the outcome of it? And nobody, it's like quiet silence. And the only thing that speaks to you are these little dandelions around you saying, make a wish. And you're thinking, I don't want to make a wish. I've already been making a wish. I've been setting my intentions and seeing the visions of my future and feeling them throughout myself as I've been going, right? You've been having those. And I thought I was going to be here at the top of the mountain. I don't want to hear another word about having faith and trusting. I'd like to have the results. Well, the results are here. They simply now are in your hand to be released in the seeds. And now they are, as you're releasing them, they're being carried by the wind and the elements, and they'll come to fruition. So, really, what this is about is, upon getting to that end of the path, being able to come down that path. Interesting. Coming back down and descending back now into the more mundane world. But you're doing that. That's very interesting. I didn't expect that. You're descending in a way back into the mundane world, but you're not only not the same person that you were, you're equipped in your internal systems with incredible, I want to say things like armor, but not in the, strictly speaking, protective sense, but adornment, clothing, armor, other embellishments, but they're within your internal system, and they all have this magical potency and these characteristic gifts, all unique and distinct. It's very much like the journey of, it's kind of a reverse symbolism of the journey of Inanna through the underworld to Ereshkigal. And she had to go through the 7 gates. And through each gate, sorry, the cat's pawing me. Through each gate, she was stripped of these adornments, and each adornment represented a part of her power, a distinction of her power and her gifts and her magic. She was a goddess. And here I'm seeing you descending from this mountain after ascending, and you're getting those back as you go back into the mundane world. And I'm really hearing a lot about the underlying intent of your wish fulfillment is, in and of itself, a sense of fulfillment, a beingness of fulfillment that you've been tapping into and revealing just a little bit more and a little bit more. And it's been revealing itself into you and throughout you a little bit more and a little bit more. Of course, then a few more steps would be taken, and then there was another whoosh of challenge. And so none of this reading is to say that, there wouldn't be challenges. There certainly will be. But the challenges are coming from a place of the artisan, the craftsman here with the emperor. The divine masculine working with the natural materials of the world and of the universe to create things. And he's creating things from a power that he has inherited. It's a power inside this orb that was passed down to him from whomever was before him in the book. He can't quite recall, was it a father figure, a mentor? Who was it? And it didn't really matter. It was just this force, this dragon like force that exists in and as itself within this orb, an orb that's a fractal in its shape and appearance and size of what it actually is within itself. It's like a universe representation within a universe. And he's using and utilizing this power to create not only the next steps and reveals of a life and a world around him that represents a part of his imagination and just deep, powerful, and intricate creativity. And it's powerful and intricate as a resemblance to the adornments and such that are within him, no longer needed outside of him, within him. And those come with challenges, but they're challenges that, in many senses of the word and the idea that he creates. So it's, I don't know, I always go to the athlete kind of metaphor, but it's, if somebody wants to be an 800-meter, Olympic runner, they know to be the best of the best, they need to challenge themselves in certain ways. And so when those challenges present themselves to the athlete, it's kind of a, okay, yeah, here we go. This is what we need to do next. And it's not super fun, but there's also this sense of, I am going to allow myself to be in joy while also in the struggle and the challenge of it. And that's really when the two come together and alchemize and transcend into gratitude. It doesn't strip away the fact that it's still a challenge and there is still an infusion of joy, but without the denial of one or the other, or the overcoming of the other. And it allows gratitude to really be the umbrella of it all. So there is something coming up here. What do we got? Next to the emperor, we've got a conversation talking about the nostalgia of it all, the looking back and looking within. And I think that this is coming in as, this is part of the stepwise enhancement to the fulfillment that you're creating, to the fulfillment actually that is, I'm hearing, creating itself within you. So you're setting the stage and you're creating the props around it through your imagination and your actions and the discipline that you are creating, in the sense of the word of what discipline means to you and makes sense, including the cause and effects of those. So in the Four of Cups, it's allowing you to feel nurturing and kind to yourself, and also even appreciative of yourself, that there are still things that want to come forward and be missed and remembered and even lingered upon a little bit, but not too long, right? We don't want to linger too long, because then the healing process and the revealing process of the relief and the release gets lost as we start to kind of sink down into that nostalgia and get lost in the story itself that is no longer with us. It's a story of the past. And even though it's within us, we aren't within it. And this is a big part of your healing. There's tenderness here, there's care, that gentle nourishment, taking that time, allowing yourself to take that time. And I don't feel like it's something that you're going to need to have discipline in per se, taking that time, except from the sense of when you feel yourself pushing too hard, there does need to be that discipline of internal conversation and like little flags that shoot up and say, oh, I'm going too hard and too fast. I need to pull back and go within and allow myself to feel where there's any tender spots, any stuck spots, because you're working now back into the 3D and you're still connected entirely and infused by the higher dimensions of the 5D as well as being connected with the 7D. And so you're bringing all of that back into the 3D. And that also means with your incredible heightened awareness that you are going to be feeling the structures, old structures and thought forms and just outdated patterns and such in the lower dimensional 3D realm as you're intermingling with it. Because this is, you're in it, but not of it. And part of that is being an active and yet still within and present alchemist. So you're touching base within all those areas of yourself as much as you can while in action and interfacing with others in the world around you. But especially in that time when you go, okay, I know now I need to pull away, take the time that I need, trust that the time that I have is the time that I need, call on assistance from your spirit team, call on them again and again and again. And I'm hearing, and then some more. They really, really want you to keep asking if you're not getting enough. They can't feel how much you need when you need a lot. They're in the higher dimensions. And so if they're offering what they think is what you're asking for and it's not enough, you can ask for more. They know you're not going to take advantage and they're here to help you. They're here to support you. They're so proud of you. You have done so much. So keep asking and keep allowing. Now, with that coming out after the Emperor and the Four of Cups, there was this really cool, like, you've done it sort of illustration with the Seven of Wands in reverse. You done it, and this came out with it, the Ace of Pentacles. You sacrificed sense of security and stability, maybe even a job recently, or maybe you walked away from a family inheritance or a promotion, a relationship that offered stability. You have done that and sacrificed that to get away from this gossipy one after another, um, just tempest of mental and emotional immaturity and attacking. And because you sacrificed that, you got the Ace of Pentacles back in return in an entirely new development and form. And when I asked for a little bit more clarity on that and what that meant, the Guardian Stone came out and the ancestors came out strong and clear. Excuse me. That new Ace of Pentacles that's coming out for you, that new, it's all in the hand, the material, abundance in an actual prosperity form. It's in the hand, but it's revealing itself in each moment. I know, again, I'm hearing like, oh, that's so elusive. I can almost hear you saying, could I have some more details, please? And the ancestors, I think, are having a kick with this a little bit because they want to, sorry, distractions. They really want to bring an inheritance to you. And I'm really feeling more into that what you walked away from was more of a three-dimensional type of, probably a family inheritance or a marital inheritance. You walked away from this, and I mean, it could be career, of course, also, and otherwise. And the ancestors are just swarming in and they're bringing something that is a skill or a talent, something within you that I'm seeing someone just waking up in the morning and going, I think I'm going to dot 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 fill in the blank. And it's like it comes through in that liminal space right as you're waking up, and you just decide this is what I'm going to do. And it feels so right and so clear. The inspiration is clean and strong, but not so overpowering. And you just do it. And this is the gift that's coming to you from the ancestors. And I'm hearing right now, we are so proud of you. We are so proud of you. And all of this that's coming in, and the alignment that's coming in, and the wishes come true that are coming in, they all have this beautiful gentleness and clarity, and it's just like a clean, calm, clear stream in the midsummer. You take off your shoes and roll up your pants and you walk in this little stream as the mud and the silt and the cold water just cover your toes and circle around your ankles, and it just surrounds your entire soul and spirit with this knowing that everything is right, exactly right now. And so the gift in and of itself is that is the fulfillment. But also there is that material, Ace of Pentacles, and now you have something really, really cool to work with. But more so than ever before, you have this orb of universal primordial power that you can access and wield that is not overpowering. And you can see here the carved in stone, the etches of all these beings and animals and um, spirit medicines around you that are coming through you, being carved into the art that you are creating, whatever that art is. Maybe it's a new type of fusion cuisine of sustainable, local, community created. I don't know, or maybe it's a totally new genre of storytelling and a style of art for maybe comic books that just has never even been considered before. I don't know. You know. And it is beautiful and wonderful. And I'm really, really happy for you. So, this is our little reading for today. You might have seen yesterday, I actually created a reading. It was a really good one, too, of course. It was the whole I caught a big fish and it got away story. But it was a great reading. And I downloaded it and uploaded it and posted it. And I went to go do the rewatch, and there was no volume. Of course, in retrospect, I was like, first thing I did, let's look at the astrology for the day. And there was Mercury crossing over my natal Mercury in Gemini, and my natal Mercury is in retrograde. So that made some sense. I think it was opposite, maybe Lilith too, in Sagittarius. So yay. But I did feel little hints of that reading coming through in a different, more unique and distinct way that felt more, I don't know, it just felt more right. So I have a feeling it's going to resonate today's message far better. all good things in all good ways. Even when they're not, they get to be both and and. So thank you for being here today with myself and Jupiter Kitty. She's got her motor purring and running for you, sending off that extra bit of love and good fortune with your wishes upon the seeds of your intent, letting them go and letting the magic of the universe and this world that we live on infuse them, nourish them, and grow them so that you can find them along your path in your future days. Thank you, friends. Thank you for being here. I love you so much. I am so grateful for you to be in this world. You matter to me and to the world, and especially to you and your soul's growth. Take care. Ahom.